Welcome, everyone. Good to see you all tonight. Got Hasbro up here with us. Good to have you, Hasbro.
Evening, good to be with you.
Great to have you, man. And got some people in the my voice, boy. If I sound raspy tonight, guys, I went out apparently and cutting those fig trees down. It's really got my voice kind of fading in and out. Kingpin joined us earlier. Yo, Coat 1927 Tactical FUD is with us. Viejo's with us. JH586. Andy79Z28. He says, hi, everyone. Bye, everyone. He goes to bed early. I miss you, Andy. I really do, man. I wished I could go earlier. Maybe one day. Let's see. I'm here. Hasbro's there. Bobby Barlow. Who else is Hasbro? That's it. Appreciate you guys turning out for the show. It'll probably be a little more calmer this week or tonight. It's funny. Like I've often said, I still say it. I could do Echo's show easier for some reason with no pressure. I felt, pretty good in your show, but when I get on my own shows, I don't know. It's just a weird thing about me. I can't explain it. Watch Brutal Bob say something. We'll touch on some topics of that beginning reloading again, and then we'll talk about some other things that I mentioned last week regarding stuff like this. And I was actually thinking about taping up or taking my little label machine and put "Kiss It" over the serial number. That way, when I hold it up, I'm telling YouTube, everybody out there, hey, kiss it. I actually thought of other things, but I won't say that. So what's going on? What you been up to, Hasbro? How's your week going? Can you hear me, Hasbro? Let me make sure my audio's here. Test, yeah, I'm okay. I don't hear you.
How's that? Is that better?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I couldn't hear you at all.
I'm second mute. Okay. So yeah, I'm just kind of working in the shop, getting some stuff ready. We're going to be moving on to 6mm arc and 6.5 Creedmoor. I've got to finish bedding and action in my new stock for the 6.5 Creedmoor with the Excalibur barrel. I started off with that Savage Tactical, which is still an awesome gun, but then I got a new barrel and new stock to try in it. Well, I might as well buy a new action. So now I have two guns, and I'm going to finish the custom build, bed it, and all that stuff, and then get back on that Excalibur barrel because both guns are awesome. But Excalibur is pretty amazing barrel.
I'm not familiar with that barrel.
I wasn't either until a guy I worked with built a 6mm bench rest on the Savage 12 single shot action. And that 6mm bench rest was, 10 rounds into it, we were shooting sub 0.2 inch at 100 yards. And it's no kidding. The first 10 rounds were breaking it in and getting it on paper. And after 10, wow. It was shooting so good, we moved it to 100 and it was sub 0.2 with that thing. I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
So I had to try it.
What is the barrel? It's bull barrel?
It is. It's actually it's called a heavy Palma. And so it's much like a bull barrel. It's really, it's max size at the breech, and it tapers to, I think, 920 at the barrel, and it's 26 inches long. So it's not light. No fluting. But that's the whole point of the gun. It's not made to be light.
Right. What chassis did you say you're going to put it in?
I have a Boyd's at-1 stock. Already have it done. I got to pillar bed it and then bed the action.
Okay, cool.
So that's pretty much it. I've got an inlet now. The barrel was a little too big for the Boyd's. It said it would handle bull barrels, but it didn't handle right near the breech. The Palma barrel was too big, so I had to inlet some more.
Yeah, they call primers sometimes, those small primers, Palma.
Oh yeah, Palma brass. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's been a long time since I read that stuff, but I remember it a few years back.
That thing and in Creedmoor and in 308, I have brass and large and small rifle primers to do head-to-head comparisons. I've sort of shot just large and just small to fire form them, but I will do head-to-head, small to large being the only change, and see how that comes out later this summer.
That's going to be interesting for your video. Or
yeah, I've got a ton of different primers to throw at it, but I just thought that would be kind of an interesting comparison.
Yeah. I was trying to think. I seen a handgun the other day. I'm trying to think what brand it was. I can't remember now, but it was $1,200 something bucks. It was 10 millimeter, 1911 style. But it was double stack. I can't remember the name, but it was a reasonable price. And I wanted to go back and look at it again. I know I can't figure out which email I got it, that I was in. But yeah, I've been watching a little bit some of your videos here, clicking on the big screen. I was telling Hasbro on the backside here, I was coming here tonight to start the show, and I realized I got another. Today I realized that my router back there in my bedroom, the ground light and the red light don't work on it anymore. So it was basically acting as just a extension. So I undid that today, got that done, and the one that survived, I hooked it up. So all that's protected. I come in here tonight right before the show, and bam, I look at this one, and I'm used to seeing a big red light, and I look down, and I couldn't see because I had to have a phone light. And I realized the ground's not working, and the protection light's not working. So I got another bad surge. So it did its job, though. I mean, everything's been protected. But what's weird is they still function. Basically just a power strip, though. They don't have any protection. So I took it out and did away with it a few minutes ago before the show started. So I just keep finding stuff is damaged here. But thank goodness it's just surge protectors, because I place them for $25 to $30 each. Yeah. And this was a GE, so it wasn't that old. It's weird, the surge protectors that was 18 years old and 20 years old survived. Yeah. All the new ones died.
I find the new ones, the batteries just don't last like they're supposed to. When you get the UPS type,
That's what I want.
First thing goes bad on me.
I want one of those eventually. I want to get the Synwave version. I think it's $200 something bucks, though. That's a chunk of money.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm gonna sound like hillbilly here, but I'm gonna say it. Sometimes when we get to talking, like last week, I overlooked maybe one or two of you guys. If I highlight you, that's my way of saying hello to you also. So sometimes especially when I don't go at the end of the show and call everybody out, I realize then I end up missing one or two, and I hate doing that. So, but you all that follow me know that. But I still don't like leaving anyone not doing a shout out to someone. I hate that when it happens. So I do apologize. I think I got off and realized I didn't say call Chris out. I mean, I could have. I just didn't think I did. And I went, God, I feel bad about that. That was the last, that show Monday night. And God, we still got one more of that to do Monday, so I got to come up with a topic for that show. That'll be a whole new. And we'll get you put on that co-host thing too, Hasbro. By then, I'll send you a link, and you just click on it, and there you are. Got GGW's jumped in there. Alaska One Andy joined us. G23. Jamie's with us. Good to see you, Jamie. Brutal Bob. Good to see you, Bob. Let's see what he says right here. Some good back wipe. I'm glad your surgery's doing good. Going to see the doctor tomorrow. Like I say, my voice feels like it's been blown. Even when I talk, I sound really weird to me, even my own ears. So,
Bubba's in.
Hey, Bubba. Hey, Bubba, you got that? Hey, you want a link, Bubba? Give me a thumbs up, man. If you want a link, I'll send you a link. No politics, so try to stay away from that. Bubba don't talk politics anyway. And I'm bad, I admit, but if somebody starts talking politics, I'll kind of throw my little bit of 2 cents in there here and there. And I don't really want to, I want, I'm not streaming. I want to keep it more centered on having a good time and just talking to everyone and not really get deep into anything like that. Hey, yo, I'll send you a link if you want to come in. You can, Bubba. Tell us how you're. If you want to save all your info about what you're doing to your private channel, feel free to do so. Don't make us bring it, drag it out of you. I know I got your email. Let's see. Huh. I thought I had your email. I do have your email. It's supposed to be in my. Let's see. For some reason, it's not coming up in StreamYard. Oh, well. Send me, if you want to come on, Bubba, send me send me an email, ARguns1776 at Gmail. I've got you in my address book. For some reason, you're not coming up under the B's when I type in Bubba. I should have listed you as Bubba. Sometimes I'll put the real name next to it too. But if you'll send a link, I'll forward you the link if you want to come on a minute. If you want to talk any, or come on the show. It's strange. I typically put everybody in there. Most everybody that sends me an email or so. I swear, I feel like I'm losing my voice. Do what?
Michael Harvey joined us.
Hey, Michael. Good to see you, man. Like I was saying earlier, man, my voice, especially with these on, makes me sound like I'm in a hollow tube. And then, matter of fact, I may take one out so it don't sound so weird. There we go. Ah, it sounds a little bit better.
Ears messing with you too.
Yeah, it's bad enough. You sound like a drum even with your volume cut down when you wear these earbuds. And when you got a cold or your voice is kind of weak, rough, it sounds even odder. Got Yankee Kyle in here. Good evening, sir. Thank you for dropping by. G23. He says, Mac Man Real sent me so much 40. Yeah, I thought you hated brass 40. G. I was watching something on YouTube a little while ago, and can't remember which one it was. Oh, I know who it was. It's Bill Wilson. Bill Wilson had I just had to fall on the bed, and I was listening, and things we talk about too, even on our shows. He was talking about years ago, how do you know something is more permanent versus a kind of like a trend? Like, do you remember, and he mentions this, do you remember Hasbro when the lasers was the big thing decade or two ago? How lasers was the hottest thing? And he
You mean the portable laser things?
Yeah, for guns.
Yeah.
That was all yeah. That thing didn't turn out quite as, even though you can still get them, but it didn't turn out to be, it was more of a trend. And he talks about difference in trends and where we are actually at for real, in products. So he was mentioning from 85 to 95, or 85 to 95. Yeah. He said we switched over to semis. We stayed semis. That wasn't just a trend. That was not just a thing that happened. It actually became a thing,
I've got one, a little 380 Smith & Wesson.
He talks, he had it was so interesting when I was listening to him talk. He talks about, now this is his opinion. I'm not making no comment on my own at all. He says that only 1% he would categorize really get good with red dots. He said for the person that only shoots 100 rounds a year or 200, he says they're going to have a hard time.
Well, to me, too, there's a big difference between shooting with a red dot and shooting with a laser. The laser just makes me see how shaky I am.
Well, that's where his story.
Red dot, I could do
better. Well, yeah, I wasn't saying that to compare it. What he was talking about was we don't know yet where red dots are going. I mean, where the red dots are going. We don't know if it's just a temporary trend and it'll taper off and it'll disappear, kind of like the laser. He said the time will tell. He can't guess yet. And I know around
shooting on my pistols, I've been shooting them for more than 10 years.
Well, you've been doing it a long time.
Once I shoot in competition, I'll never take them off.
Well, say you shoot competition, but most people don't. He's talking about he said only 1% truly use those red dots.
Well, probably.
And good with them. He said for the person that's not used to them, he says the first thing, and I'm not going. I won't argue with Bill Wilson. He knows how to shoot.
Right.
And he says, what you do when you first pull your gun up, usually aligns with your nose and on the sights. He said, the problem is your red dot's higher and you got to adjust it. He said, if you don't practice throughout the year, you end up pointing it and you're just constantly trying to find it. So he says, that's the 1% that's good at it. And he calls it 1%. It could be 2 or 3. I mean, it's his opinion.
Well, the way I try to do it too, of course, is co-witness them, right?
Mm-hmm.
My sights on there. And when I actually draw and get on target, I draw to those sights and then the red dot appears. And so that's fast and easy and natural. I think if you only have a red dot, you're going to struggle. Now,
why he said that? Yeah, he didn't bring that subject up. He's, that stuff's edited anyway that he does. But he said 40 was basically a trend. He said because it never stayed permanent. He said, look where we are now. He said for years 40 was the big thing. He said now where we're at. He said lasers were a big thing. Now where we're at. Pistols were a thing, and he says now they are a thing. So he said he don't have yet to know. We can't tell for sure where red dots are really going. Is it going to be accepted by the masses? I've read they are, but that's still personal opinion.
I think there would be more if a lot of the guns were ready for them, and that's why you see a lot of the new guns are coming optics ready. That'll change the game, I think. But when you have to go back and have a slide milled or whatever, they're not going to be adopted. But now guns are being set up for them from the beginning, and you have more options.
Yeah, and he mentioned that. He said gun manufacturers, I recall that. He says, you only, I think I had a first M&P red core 40 caliber that had the red dot plates. I bought it years ago. God, we're talking 2010, 11, something like that, or 12. I can't remember for sure, but I've had a whole bunch of M&Ps, and with and without it, night sights and without night sights, and but he says what happened too is going on. He said all the manufacturers now. He said why you're seeing so much of it. He said well they look at the sales on one manufacturer. He said don't you think the other manufacturers looking at those sales are going to go, okay, it's the thing of the moment, basically is what he meant. So let's go ahead and let's put our plates on it. Let's do that. And I do know in my rural area, and I mentioned this one time in a stream one night, you don't see cops carrying red dots. You don't see many people at the range doing red dots pre-COVID. I can't say after now because I hadn't been there. They closed the range down for a while and redid it, but I'm going shortly. It's something you see them on ARs, but you didn't see them on handguns typically in my area. But I'm outside of the suburbs of Atlanta, and we're kind of like a bedroom community. We don't have very few apartments in this entire county. We just don't do like Gwinnett and DeKalb County and Fulton and all that. We don't build apartments. Matter of fact, you try to build an apartment in this county, the homeowners, man, raise a fit at the local meetings, man. They go nuts.
Property value a bit.
Yeah, and so they typically stop it. And I'm glad they do because it's kind of a bedroom community county here, and I like it that way too. It is growing rapid though, granted. Let's see what's going on out there. How you doing, Jamie? Uncle John's with us. Good to see you, Uncle John. Haven't seen him in a while. Actually, I sent him an email a time or two, or he comments a time or two here lately. Good to see you, Uncle John. Info Bros is with us. He's got a comment on the iron sights. Let's see. I can see.
Jamie says he loves his 40 Smith & Wesson. It ain't a fad at my house.
Yeah, I still like it. I think people ask me, sometimes even, not on YouTube, but just people, well, why is the 40, why do you like it better? Well, it's got more powder. It's a bigger case. And, it's strange. All the guys a lot of the guys that like the 45 will throw the case capacity and the heavy bullet at you, you know what I mean? But when you mention 40, nobody wants to say a word about it. But really, it's got more powder and it has more case capacity. So that's why I like the 40. It's got a little more punch. The whole thing
started with the 10 millimeter, right? And then the FBI didn't like the recoil. They wanted something a little lighter, and they went to 40, which is a real joke. I mean, it's a little lighter, but they could have downloaded the 10 millimeter. I just think they probably had a bunch of Bud Light drinkers at the FBI at the time. They didn't want to take the recoil of a 10 millimeter.
No, I haven't, Michael, yet. Mm-mm. Sure hadn't. I was looking at it today. I got it in my B&H photo cart, though. And I was looking at a few others. And I'm waiting on to hear back from the guy that's got my vet in the shop. He told me, I don't even know if he's got my number. I called him today. He didn't answer, which is typical because he's usually working on cars. He don't typically answer the phone. And you can't leave him a message because his voicemail's packed out and loaded up. But I'll know more about, hopefully by tomorrow, maybe Monday, what the car is going to be. I already know I'm probably going to end up having the heads pulled and maybe new springs. If I don't do it now with him, I'm going to do it anyway. If I get through the summer without it and he don't recommend it, I may just drive it when he finds out what it is. And we're not really sure what it is yet. It could be a flex plate crack. It could be a manifold cracked. I mean, who knows what's going on with that thing? But it's definitely not I already knew it wasn't the bottom end. Now I can hear the rockers flutter a little bit in it because it doesn't have a lot of miles in 30 years. So that tells me it probably needs a good valve train. Now, if the crank's good.
Lifters aren't pumping up?
Yeah. Well, I may have some loose rocker arms because they don't tell me who worked on this motor.
Right.
That's the thing, too. It's went through several owners. It's not like I'm a second or third owner. I'm maybe the fourth. I don't even know now. But I can tell by listening to it how it flutters. And so down the road, if I don't do it now, I don't have the heads pulled, and I may do lifters, push rods, and springs, and new rocker arms. Yeah. And bolts and all that stuff. And seals, of course. In it. Hang on a minute.
Yeah, while you're at it, seals are a big thing.
No, that's Bubba. Okay.
They pressurize the cylinder and hold the valves up. Seals aren't a big thing anymore, but you need them.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Bubba's got to. Okay. He sent me a text. He's got letting us know. When he hits 150 subs, he's just letting us know he's going to do a giveaway. Yeah, we're looking forward to that. That'd be cool, Bubba. Let me check my email. I didn't do that. Hold on a minute. Just talk whenever you want, Hasbro. If I get quiet.
I was just looking at Viejo's comment about shooting tons of 40. I'm sure they're all cast. Viejo, do you use them? You shoot powder coated only in 40? See what he comes back with here.
Okay. Got one link coming, Bubba.
Yeah, I've got a ton of 40 brass, but I have the dies for 40, but they're set up to load 10 millimeter. I've loaded a lot of 10 millimeter, shot it, but I don't own one. I've loaded for other people's guns.
I'd love to have 10. I really do.
10 it's an amazing round to shoot. And, you can load it hot. You can load it stupid hot, way above the normal published book values because they downloaded it. There's some information out there to do that, but then you can load it mild, and it's more like the 40 or really hot 9. It's not bad.
Yeah, I'd like to load it too. I know Ted Nugent. He carries the what is it? The Glock 10 millimeter supposedly all the time.
There's Walter saying he does shoot mostly powder coated 40 and some plated too, but yeah, that's what I assume, because not just the velocity side, but the pressure side and getting it to obturate right and seal up. And I figured it was not a straight cast bullet.
Yeah, I mean, I know
you probably do it, but same thing with me with 454 Cazul. I don't shoot straight cast bullets because it will lead the barrel fast.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Yeah, even shotguns now put red dots on it. I've known that for years. I've seen it. And I got every time I go to the gun store here in Athens, Georgia, they always got, gun manufacturer magazine, yearly books. I grab them things, and I've got a bunch of them here right now. And you'll see all that stuff. I wouldn't mind having a shotgun with a red dot on it, actually, if I had one, probably to try it out.
Well, I think that'd be cool. Slugs and stuff, and you're not going to go long enough for a scope. Red dot's the perfect solution.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've always liked 40. 40 was the first semi-auto. Well, I bought my brother's originally 9mm Taurus stainless, but brand new. I bought my PT 101 stainless steel adjustable sights, 5-inch barrel, and God, probably 2005. I carried that gun for about eight years. He's got it now. I sold it to him, and I miss it still. And I just like the 40 round. And it's, to me, why the FBI can't pass tests with a 40 it's beyond me, because I can sure shoot it. It don't seem like it has any recoil to me, especially on a metal gun, aluminum frame.
Walter, I think that's good of you, manly enough to admit you have a Glock problem. Maybe one day you'll move away from them.
That's something I still gonna get into. I'll mention occasionally. I want to get into. Mac's gonna give me some lead. He said a few years ago. I need to start buying my Pro Pot, that 20-pound pot, and just start buying a few little things here and there. That way, in time, I'll have it all. Because if I try it, point blank, I'll go down the rabbit hole.
I've had stuff for 40 years casting, more than that actually, casting for lead round balls for muzzleloaders. But I've been casting, 9mm, 45, mainly those two in modern stuff, and some 308 for the last 15 years or so. And that's fine. I do well. But at the same time, if I can get a sale on like extreme plated bullets, when they're on sale and get free shipping, it's hard for me to cast and do it at the same cost,
Makes sense. Appreciate you dropping in, Rollis. You have a good night. He's one of our regulars. He's always in these shows. We appreciate each and every one of you that turn out. What do we want to talk to? Bubba's got the link. I haven't seen him jump on yet. I sent him one. Pasted it.
We were talking last week. I don't know if you want to do more of that or not about beginning stuff, and we really didn't cover where I would start before I even buy equipment. And that's looking at the reloader guide, manuals, things like that.
Yeah, I didn't mention that because I don't buy books first. When I start, I buy equipment, and then I start reading the books. Right. I don't know why I did that. I just do.
Well, I guess it really doesn't matter either way. It's just you don't want to start. I would never start loading without having a reference. Now, you can get it online. Some of it.
Yeah, that's true.
Of course, be very cautious on forum data. Even data on my reloading stuff. It's like, I almost always stay within the book values, but there's times I stray, and it's like, if you're doing it yourself, you better know what you're doing well before you get to that point.
Now, I got the books. It wasn't right that probably 2 weeks later, 3 weeks. I can't remember a month. I don't recall. I found the press when that was on. I pulled the switch, and I knew the books. Books just didn't thrill me, And but
on the casting side, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I did start buying books. I got 10th Hornady, 49th, 50th Lyman. I've got, what else I got? I got some PDAs that Andy Zinc Master sent me too on my computer now of 1980 something books. Can't remember what, 43? Can't remember. Hey, Bubba, how you doing, man?
I'm here at a building, and I'm like, what's that?
Bubba.
Hey, Bubba.
I can't be on too long, brother. I got to get ready for work. Getting ready to head out, but I got to pop in for a couple minutes.
Oh, that's good. How you doing?
Finer than a frog here, split 4 ways.
When you think you're going to get that press mounted?
Man, whenever I get time. I've just been working.
You get time? You work nights then, right?
Yeah. I work 10 p.m. till 6 a.m. Yeah.
Ooh, that's a graveyard shift. Well, I worked that one time, 4 months, like to kill me.
It's okay. I talked to the skeletons. We're good. We're fine. It was a graveyard smash. All right.
Well, the good thing about that is I worked that about 3 years. Is you get off in the morning and you can go, go to the range, you go whatever, nobody's there.
Every time I got off in the morning at 6 a.m., 7, I almost ran off the road. I was so sleepy. Now, I worked most of my life on second shift, but third shift, I couldn't handle it. even in my 30s. It just, God, horrible. Made more money on third, but I took a job for 4 months, actually stuffing pork butts in a oven and smoking pork butts for 4 months. And then I left that and went to a contact lens company, stayed there for a long time. I remember I had a friend one night at a bar years ago. And he was into computers and drove a Jag and all that. And I was at the bar one evening, I was talking. He says, "What do you do now?" And I looked at him, I said, "Stuff pork butts in ovens." He goes, "What?" Oh, yeah. I said, "Better than nothing, man. At least it gives me some money."
Pork butts. Pork butts. But anyway, I gotta go. Like I said, I wasn't gonna be in here.
All right, man. Have a good one.
But
Hey, good seeing you,
got
Bubba.
150 subscriber giveaway. If you want to get in on that, you just gotta be subbed and leave Bubba 150 in the comment section.
Bubba
Y'all take care
150.
now.
Okay, man. We'll do that. Remember, guys, Bubba 150. Actually, we'll go ahead and put it. I'll go ahead and just do it there. You're on the front side of, yeah, that's right. You're on the, you're the mod on it. I'm not even opening it up. Sometimes now if I'm on Hillbilly Show, I've got two browsers open, split most of the time. Sometimes I'll make one the main screen and then I'll go back and take the other front side.
Yeah, too. I'm just going to find Bubba's and post his channel and post that other on there too.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, buy books. Get back on that topic. Buy books. Get you affordable press. Buy you a cheap press. But I do, me personally, I recommend the turret over the single. I'm going to say that. A lot of people don't, but I do, because why? You can run it as a single. And then when you don't want to run a single, you can run it fast. And sometimes, to me, probably because I was in manufacturing, I don't really want to sit in front of a single stage and go through, 50 rounds or 100 and then load up the die, run through another 50 or 100 and then turn around. Gosh, I won't do it. So I at least go for the turret. That's the minimum what I'll do. And then, of course, the fastest is 650, 1050s, and RL1100s. But single stage, I mostly just deprime on.
There you go. I got the link up there in his
Okay.
code too.
Appreciate it, Hasbro. Like I said, guy, my voice is really weak tonight. Boy,
I hadn't subbed him, so I just did. I didn't realize I hadn't. So
yeah, he's a good dude. Got DJ Play Nice with us. Good to see you, DJ. Brutal Bob. Michael Hurtnick. Let me scroll up. New York Outcast joined us. Who else did I miss here? Viejos, well as Info Bros.
you care if I want to post a link here, AR, but
Go ahead.
we won't go politics. These guys do a little politics and jokes in Joe's chest. But this is what I was telling you about, because if y'all like Hillbilly Up's channel or American Hillbilly, you'll like these guys. I just found them today, and they are the funniest guys. But a lot of what they do is politics, so we won't talk about that. But you guys probably like their humor. It's pretty funny.
I used to listen to the Conservative Twins sometimes. Listen to them talk.
I've heard about them, but I haven't followed them.
They made it on Fox News, I think it was. I started watching them, and then months later, I can't remember the time frame. I looked at one day, and it was on TV. But they say it, they say what they mean what they say. See what James has got going on here. I've loaded some extremely accurate rounds on the lead turret. Yep, and Echo, he's checked concentricity on the turret. It's good. Now I will say something. I do load single stage on but even then I got a fast switch out, and that's on the Forester coax. So if I'm going to do single stage, I'll do the Forester coax.
I almost bought that, and I bought the Spec Marksman, but then I put those Hornady, what the heck are they called? Quick locks, I think they are. But those things just make it really fast to switch. So,
no, I was in manufacturing my whole life, Uncle John. I was stuffing pork butts, which were dead, in an oven of oak wood and hickory. And it was a big old giant oven outdoors, had a fire pit at the end. So basically it was outdoors. It had snow on the ground, and mostly I'd stay in the lunchroom reading the newspaper or watching a television screen. I didn't really work much, but I was there working third for almost 4 months. I know one of the guys actually stated, says, well, we hope when you go to that new job, you'll show some enthusiasm. You know what I said to him? I looked at when he said that and I says, how do you show enthusiasm for smoking pork butts? Commercially, I mean, home, yeah, but not commercially, no. Give me a break. I thought that was the strangest thing for him to say to me that night. But people say strange things in this world.
Michael Hurton is asking if I've had any luck finding large rifle primers. No, but I haven't had to look. That's the one thing I have quite a bit in. What I was really after for a long time was CCI 41 small rifle primers. And I finally found enough that now I feel like I can shoot and not worry about it for a couple of years, Which is where I like to be, because when I shoot and I get below 2,000 and anything, I get nervous. And so I start trying to find them then. I'm
getting there. Lower than that. Brownells today in an email, they've got primers. They're a match. They're $150 or $160 for a thou. My local shop has them for $100 per brick. I'm not buying them at that price. So, but I am seeing primers come in online and in stores locally.
I saw Brownells and Midway had regular small pistol, small rifle, large pistol for $90 a 1,000. But that's the same price as my local gun store now had them today. So, by the time you do hazmat and everything else, it's not worth it. I just buy them at the local store if I really needed them. But at least they're showing up on shelves,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you pay $160 for match primers, and then turn around and pay hazmat and plus shipping. Good
yeah,
Lord.
It's not happening.
Yeah,
if they were local, I'd pay $100, $120 for true match primers. That's okay because I don't burn through them like I do the CCI 41s and my ARs. Right? I go out and do low development. That's 50 minimum, and depending on what I'm doing, it could be 100 every time I hit the range. You burn through 1,000 pretty quick that way. At least the shooting I do during the summer.
Mm-hmm. Got MSB 9021 with us. Good to see you, man. Appreciate you dropping in. VO says, I'm down to about 15,000 on large pistol, and I'm getting nervous. Yeah. Yeah, you and High Boy and a lot of you others out there, boy, y'all stock up. Boy, I ain't kidding you.
Well,
some people do.
There was this estate auction several years ago at this auction house south side of Indianapolis. And I went up there, and it was a late Sunday and Sunday evening thing, and I had to be at work 5 a.m. the next morning. So I finally had to leave 8. I should have just taken the next day off because I bought 5,000 primers then, and I paid $30 a thousand at the time at this auction. Now, this was pre-COVID by a couple years. But the guy at Pass was a machine gun shooter, and he had literally pallets of primers and bullets and cases. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of these things. And people were buying them case at a time, auctioning a case at a time. You couldn't buy anything else. And I bought a second Dillon 550B there. It was just a couple things. It was probably scattered in some of the boxes around there, but they didn't find it. So I got a Dillon 550B for $170. I had to add $80 in parts to it, and it was just as good as the one I bought.
Well, I missed when you could get 5,000. What was it, $175? $180?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Like, I don't know if I'll ever see an auction like that again. The guy was a huge machine gun shooter.
Heck, if primers would just, say flatten out to 60 or 60, 65, say, yeah, I'll buy maybe 5,000 if that's what the price is going to eventually, decline to. But I'm not paying no $100. I'm not paying no $79 for them.
Hey, Michael, you're asking me in South Texas. No, I'm in Southern Indiana. We got Chris from the 740 with us. Welcome, Chris.
Yeah, welcome, man. I highlighted him.
Info Bros. I don't think I saw him before.
Yeah, good to see you, Info. Tim S. jumped in there. Yep. Hey, Tim.
Thanks, in here at the last minute.
Yeah, good to see you guys. Yeah, always pick you a good press, which I think, in my opinion, Lee Turt's the best thing you can get out there, like Bubba did. You can't beat it. You can load faster on it. You can manually turn it by hand or use that little plastic disc, whatever.
It's not expensive.
I think Midway's got it for 159. I think it's 140 something everywhere else typically.
Yeah, when I first got into, precision rifle, long distance F-class stuff, I was still actually doing that in my Dillon 550. But I did a lot of research on single stages, trying to figure out, okay, what I want to do to really tighten up, especially the run out and concentricity that I was getting on my Dillon. It wasn't bad, but trying to get better. And that Lee Classic press was right at the top, and that's not too expensive. I didn't check the turret at the time. And then you mentioned Forster, that was right at the top, and Mech Marksman, and then what's the one? I think it's RCBS Rock Crusher, right? Isn't that the name of one?
Rock Chucker.
Rock Chucker. Sorry, that was the other. Those four were like really. There's I forget who did a really extensive run out test on that, but I watched a lot of videos trying to figure that out.
That's an old well, that new model's newer, yeah, but Rock Chucker had been around a long time. My brother used to talk about it back in the 80s. He was talking reloading, and he talked about it before I even thought anything about it at one time.
It was Ultimate Reloader's press shootout. That's the one I saw the video, and he did like everything. But yeah, I was looking for a Rock Chucker used, and you just don't find those.
You still see them occasionally new online. I've seen them.
Yeah, new but not used.
Yeah. Used to see them on eBay quite a bit for around 100 or so for some of the older ones. Another one, they come out with the Rebel. It's a little heavier than the Rock Chucker, the Rebel, and it has no primer system. And if I was probably going to get one, I don't know. I've seen the Rebel and the RCBS Rock Chucker at a really good price, especially Black Friday. Really cheap at times. MSB 2091, I still have a case of 5,000 small pistol primers, Winchester, with a 76 stick. Wow. See, 5,076 bucks.
Yeah.
That had to be from, boy.
I had some, I was pulling out the other day, CCIs that were $23 1,000. And
wow.
And it's like, I'm just about shot through those. And now I'm into the $40 1,000 ones. And I've got a couple in there that were 90 because I needed some more of those CCI 41s. But, yeah, it's hard when you see those stickers all of a sudden shoot up,
I bought I bought a box right when COVID hit, local gun store that don't stock a lot of stuff. I walked in there and there were 2 boxes of small rifle primers, CCI. 30, which is weird. He's usually higher, but for some reason it was like $33.99 or something like that. And I grabbed a box. Wished I'd grabbed both, but the guy in there got one. And I kept looking after that. Nope. COVID hit and bam. I mean, it just got worse, in other words, under COVID. And now,
looking here, Brutal Bob and GGW are talking about transmissions. I grew up just outside of Muncie, and the M22, the 3-speed, the 4-speed Muncies, all that stuff were all the rage until the Mickey Thompson T10 came out. And it's like everybody had to have that one, the big blocks mainly. But I helped a buddy put one in, but I never drove it myself. That's a bit of history, though.
Yeah, coax. I like the way you can change the dies out. Set it up, just pop them out, pop them in. It's just it always intrigued me. It's also pretty fast at depriming. It's actually faster than a single stage depriming. I can do it faster. I just flick the brass out, bam, bam, bam. You do it really quick. So you can work it. So you can't beat the Forester. I'm probably going to put it back on the bench here and move this because this is just not really getting no use. Just sitting there being an ornament. Yeah, I remember the Muncie when I was young, Muncie 4-speeds.
Yep.
And, yep. I've drove a few of those cars. I've been in
GGW remembers the Borg Warner T10. I don't think that's been available for many years. The plant they made it in is completely raised to the ground. It's not, all you see is a concrete pad there outside of Muncie, the Borg Warner plant.
Ship me some primers, Bob. I'll pay you for them. Hey, evening, Todd. Got Todd in here.
Yeah, Viejo was talking about the Lee app press. I thought about getting another one just to do depriming and sizing faster. But like when I do large volume, my 9 or 45s on my Dillon, and it does it anyway. So it's like I haven't taken that plunge, but if I didn't have that, absolutely, I'd be on that app press for that.
Got Crazy Gearhead with us. Getting a few names. I've seen him before. Todd, I can't remember. It says here, see what he says on reloading. He didn't start reloading until COVID, so I have to Yeah, it's better to start, I guess, sometime than not any time. The only mistake I made, and I've said this in live streams, but maybe not for this audience, I bought plenty of powder because it kind of creep into stores. But in primers, I'd usually miss them. I'd call and go, "Oh, we got some 3 months ago," but no, we ain't seen any in a long time. I call again a few months later. We ain't had none in 6 months, which I know they had some in 6 months. I called them, and one time the local mom and pop during COVID, the store owner's son told me to just call and they'd put my name on it. Well, months later I called and I says, "You got some primer?" "Yeah." I said, "Put my name on it." "No, we don't do that no more." I said, "Well, your owner's son said I could, Mark." And he goes, "Well, we stopped it." I said, "Okay." He said, "You can pay for it on the phone." And I never did. And they got a whole bunch of them now, and $100 a pop right now.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't have them, you get a few, but you don't buy, like, if they ever hit 40, 50, even $60 again, I'll buy several cases. I hate to pay that much, but it's like, if it ever hit that, I'll do it.
Hey, Vanessa, how you doing? Oh, got quite a few people in. Crazy Gearhead, Tim S. Got Colt with us, Todd with us, GGW, James Pollard jumped in there. Who else? Chris from the 740. If I sound kind of wonky tonight, my voice is shot for some reason. Probably pollen and actually cutting those fig trees down and getting out there in it. I've noticed that even though before I got COVID, I'd go out last summer. And if I went shopping in thrift stores and stuff, I'd always have, for days, my voice would be really off and my chest would get congested. Let's see who else is in here. Tim,
you were mentioning COVID hitting, all having powders and stuff. When it hit and a lot of powders are gone, I have doing so much low development. I got a little of this and a little of that, but I found a 8-pound jug of tack still less than $200. And so I sort of looked at it and tried to figure out, okay, what can I use it for? And it's actually a pretty versatile powder. So I thought, okay, I'll take a chance. I'll go buy it because I can use 223 and 308. It actually ends up being a really good Grendel powder. I've gotten some really accurate results out of tack. And tack is still one of the cheapest powders that you can find on the shelves. It's pretty good.
Used to be. What do you did Grendel with it?
Yeah, I did Grendel with it. 308.
Okay.
It'll do 30-06 from what I understand. And I haven't done it with it yet. And then 223. I'm sure there's others.
I knew 223 and I knew 308. And I probably suspected 30-06. Yeah, I didn't know it did Grendel, so that's good to know. I bought a jug of it several years before COVID for Powder Valley for like $159.
Yeah, I think I paid $180 locally for it, and that was right when COVID hit, so I took it.
Yeah, it's a good deal.
I guess I'm wrong on 30-06. I don't see it listed here anyway.
Now, I got my brother now here a few weeks ago. This is not maybe 2 months ago. I sent him a link for 4 pounds of Silhouette, and it was only $140. Shipped everything here. Now it's like 160, 70. So we got a good deal on it. I'm gonna pay him for 2 pounds of it. I'm on.
Right.
This actually Silhouette's designed for IDPA and law enforcement.
Oh, okay. Having never shot it, I wasn't sure.
Yes, it says on it's designed for law enforcement and IDP, however you say it.
I got Super Performance too. I'm gonna start running in the 6.5 Creedmoor. I've got the match, and then what's the one they call it? It's Super Performance without that. To give that a whirl, the Winchester powders. Just another thing to play with. But I when I do that, I get a pound, maybe 2. And then if it's better, then it's got to be really good for me to buy more.
I had researched Silhouette for quite a while, so I wanted to get it. And I told my brother, what it is, I got to find a container for it. Maybe on, I think I can get one on which the container's like 10, 15 bucks. Amazon. So I got to get that shipped here, and I'm going to weigh it out, and I'm going to pay him half of the 140 something, because he don't need no four pounds of pistol powder. I think it makes 4 pounds average, makes around 3,000 something rounds of 9mm, or no, 40 actually. Yeah, 40 caliber.
You know, one powder I've been shooting a lot of, because Varget is still so stupid to find, and when you do, it's crazy expensive, is Shooter's World Precision. So I bought 8 pounds of it when it was still $23 a pound, right before COVID.
Oh, wow.
Now it's almost as much as Varget, but at least you can find it. That goes down. That's one powder I'll buy an 8-pound jug of right away, because it is really versatile and really good powder. I've shot it 223, 6.5 Grindle. I will shoot 6mm arc in it. I haven't yet. 308, 6.5 Creedmoor. They all can shoot it very well.
Yeah, James says his 6.5 Grindle does H335. I've got, I probably got, see, 8, 9, 11, 12 pounds of that, H335. I've got some 2 pounds of 48.95, and then I got 1 pound of Varget, or less than a pound.
Jamie was commenting on this, but I'll show you what H4350 in the Creedmoor can do. You can see that.
Oh, wow.
That's 5 shots on 100 yards right here. It's a 4350 is like a magic powder in the Creedmoor, 6.5 Creedmoor. I've gotten pretty close to this with the Shooter's World Precision too. It's just, it's a lot lower velocity than 4350 is.
I mentioned that powder to somebody on streaming or something, or I can't remember now. Somebody brought it up, and I said, yeah, 4350, and for 6.5.
It is the Varget for 6.5. It's like the miracle powder.
Chad says he's going to try those 77 grain. I haven't got any of those, but I'd like to get some 77 grain. I've got a bunch of 55 grain soft point, spear point, soft point. I call them soft point.
I'll go over here and grab the magic bullet for 5.56. If you have a 1-in-7, especially, or 1-in-8.
Colt says he bought. Go ahead.
55 grain in the Bob's bulk bullet is the best I've found for 55 grain by far, and it's not expensive. But the 77 grain Sierra Match King is for precision.
I bought Czech Mid-South shooter supply. I bought before COVID, quite a little bit before COVID. I bought 2,000. They go, it's basically Hornady, all it is. The 2,000 was shipped $150 something for 2,000 rounds.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yep. Now it's about 200. Check out you guys. Now they don't have a sale often. They used to have a sale before COVID. 6,000 rounds of 55 grain full metal jacket or soft point for like $389. And of course that went away, and you see it for I have seen it for $450. Typically it's about $580 now. So sometimes they do a big sale. It's called ARM, A-R-M, and Ally, A-L-L-Y. Check them out sometimes. I do mention them occasionally in live streams because they are a good source. And check Mid-South. It'll be called Varmageddon. I think Varmageddon's a box on it. And
these.
Hang on.
Well, you can see that one, AR.
Oh, I forgot I had you blown up. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, these. Let me see if I can get there in the right spot. That's the 77 grain Sierra Match King with the cantilever. This is the part number. Johnny at Johnny's Reloading Bench is the one who turned me on to these. They are truly a magic bullet in an AR for long range and precision shooting. It's really amazing. I've shot the ones without the cantilever and got good results, but I still can't explain why that cantilever is better, but it is definitely shown up in my results. And then these were the other ones I was telling you about. These are Bob's bulk bullets.
I've heard of them.
The guy is out of Kentucky, and they're pretty reasonable.
Johnny's Reloading Bench used to do those years ago before even High Boy touched them, I think.
He did.
Yeah.
And for 55 grain, these have been the most accurate of all.
Really?
Worst of any I've had are Lake City. You might as well have a shotgun. But anyway, those are for AR platforms so far for me, those are by far the best. those two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was kind of surprised on Bob's bullets because I've heard kind of mixed reviews on them sometimes. But
Yeah, I think it maybe is what powder, what gun, but mine are both. I believe they're both 1-in-7s. My Wilson Combat and my White Oak Armament barrels, and boy, they both love that. They really love these 77 grain, Sierra Match King.
now, if I'm gonna buy 77 grain, it's gonna be the way you did right there, definitely, because it's just not worth the 100. I mean, just get the bulk and be done with it, especially if it's on sale.
These two, I never shoot steel with. This is just precision stuff, and so I don't burn through them as fast because that's still $220, $230 a box for 500. So it's not cheap, right? But if you're shooting precision, trying to dial in some sub MOA, especially sub half MOA stuff that I've been working on in there, that's the bullet.
Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna look. I've been wanting a box like that of those. I do though. I did find me well, you heard about it. What a good deal I can get on some barrels. You remember that? I'm not going to announce it live because and that's cool. So, yeah, I definitely want to build me a Grendel. Of all the guns outside the AR10 308, I want to build a Grendel. Basically, because it's lighter. I want a light gun that I could take deer hunting and take out in the woods. If I did see a hog, I could shoot it in the eyeballs or kill it.
Well, it's like we were talking about a little bit last week. Is that's such a versatile cartridge. I've been amazed. I mean, I saw the specs and I saw the number. I thought that looks like fun. I'll play with one. It's like, man, I've shot more Grendel than I've shot anything in the last year and a half, and it's fun.
That round, I don't think it's going to stay popular, I think.
Yeah.
Now, the one that didn't seem to go nowhere, in my opinion, was the 6mm ARC. That come out with all the praise, this, that, and the other, and all of a sudden it's kind of slid down a little bit.
Hornady's doing it to it. They're still the only ones producing brass, and you can't find it. They only want to sell ammo. So I've shot 3 boxes of their ammo, so I have 60 of their brass. And the rest I had to get Starline. I already had Starline brand new Grendel brass, 6.5 Grendel. I had to convert it. So it works fine, but it's like I shouldn't have to do that.
Yeah, that's great, Chad. He's trying to hit 77 grain out 750 yards. 16-inch barrel. I think that's what that means.
That's the round to take you there. And you can draw real little circles at 100 and 200 yards with it. I'm telling you. Get your powders worked out. 25. I don't know what powder Chad. You might chime back what powder you're wanting to use.
Night, Mark. Have a good one, man, brother.
I can tell you, like 82.8 XBR, accurate 25-20, shooter's rule precision, a little lower velocity because it's a lot like Varget in that too, a little lower velocity but really accurate. But the 82.8 XBR and the 25-20 can get you to the, Mark 262 Mod 1 military round velocities, which gets you over 2,700 feet per second with that 77 grain round. That'll carry you to 750. You'll be able to do it accurately.
Let's touch on what Jamie said here. He said, Hasbro, I was getting half MOA with my 6.5 Creedmoor. I think he's got a Ruger Creedmoor.
That's awesome, Jamie.
I think. Yeah, he needs to clarify that if I'm wrong. He was getting, he ain't kidding. That's good for a
half MOA at that kind of distance is awesome.
And a factory rifle. The thing I do like about Ruger, I bought the first American when it came out, 308. I love the action on them. I think they're slick as glass. I traded in on another gun, unfortunately. It was thin barrel. If I had one now, I think Jamie's got the, I'm trying to think which one he's got, the Predator, unless I'm wrong. I'm thinking about maybe getting that one in time.
Chad came back, said he's going to try tack and stay ball match. I'd like to hear how those two do in that caliber. I've not shot either one of those in 5.56.
He wants to know if there's pull down powder. No.
It's a repackaged Lovex, and they tell you exactly what it is. was they make it for the military, but in huge drums, and then they repackage it into Shooter's World for the U.S. market.
You mentioned Varget earlier. A few months ago, 6 months ago, I was on Bass Pro here, not far from me. They were going to let me have it, pick it up at the store. Listen to this: no hazmat, $365 for 8-pound jug. That's not too bad, but not as good as it was, pre-COVID, but still. And I backed out, and I kind of wish I had did it. I told Echo, I said, that's still a lot of money, time tax.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I thought that was right, James. I remember you talking about that Predator. Yeah, Ruger's just a good rifle. Good action on it. It's slick.
I've not shot one yet. And maybe you, AR, or some other people in the chat know. But the thing is, like, if I can easily replace the barrel like I can on a Savage, I'd be all in going for Ruger. And if I can change the trigger out, if there are trigger options out there, because I've read a lot of people love them, but I kind of go nuts on customizing at some point.
Yeah, Jamie says
know about the Ruger, what's out there.
He got it on the Magpul American Hunter stock. I heard of that one. Arkin SH4 Gen 2 scope. Yeah, you got something very accurate round there, half MOA. Excuse me, guy. Should have muted. Night, Walter. Have a good one. He probably going to get up and walk 5 miles. And that's what I need to do. I need to start walking. Typically, I walk this neighborhood every day. Since I've had COVID in January, I just kind of intermittently walk it. So it's no wonder I'm getting, I need to get out there, and I'm probably going to get up in the morning. I'm going to walk before it gets hot. It's just, when I walk the neighborhood, I feel better during the day. I feel better even when I come to a live. I just feel more pumped and energetic. But if I just lay around this house, I get sluggish. And I don't like feeling like that. Colt says he's got a Ruger American Stainless in 22-250. Cool. Yeah, I bought the first. I paid.
That's a fast round.
I paid about $350 for the 308 Ruger American rifle when it first launched. At Clyde Armory, who is a congressman now. He owns Clyde Armory in Athens, Georgia, and now he's in the House of Representatives. And he's trying to wants to get stuff passed, pro Second Amendment. Now, he truly is a guy that's not bought. Now, here I go, but never mind. I won't say no more.
We'll get wound up there.
But he does. He don't like, he said something about he had a lot of people sitting for like 30 days at a time over the years. Couldn't even get approved. That's pathetic. But
holy cow. We were talking about beginning reloading initially, here. So I'm looking up. I've done a lot of load development. That's 77 grain Sierra Match King and 5.56. I'll show you this page and I'll mention it. This is the Lyman 51st, and usually Lyman is really conservative on their charges. And most rounds I've done, it's like they're really low, where the other books are showing you much higher charges and velocities. But they have that Sierra 77 grain Match King in a load listed in the 223 section, not the 5.56, at over 2,800 feet per second. One of the powders will do that. It's like, that is smoking for that round. This 2750 is the military max for that.
Jamie Scopes did it 300 yards.
Yeah. And that's with 2230. I've shot that powder. I haven't found it real accurate, but I've never pushed that kind of pressures and velocities with it either. That's wicked fast.
Bergera's, their manufacturing plant's not far from me here.
Oh, really?
They got I was going to let a gunsmith there. One time, it's still a referral through my son. He was going to turn a Tikka for me. The problem was, he didn't seem to know as much about the Tikka barrel as I did, even though I had just bought the gun. And I changed my mind because he didn't make sense what he told me. I told my son that too. I said, what he said don't make sense. So I didn't use him. And I called another gunsmith, and he said, he said, yeah, you can't. Certain guns are not like Savage or Remington where you can, easily do the headspace. In other words, you got to really basically cut the threads again, or get a new barrel and cut the threads and then screw it in. Some guns are just easy to change. Savage being one of them. Remington another one.
Yeah, you
I
can
don't-
get the Ramage action, they call it, which is a combination of those two.
Okay, I'm not even familiar with that one. Okay.
It's a
Cool.
it's a Remington that has outside thread, so you can use a barrel, a threaded nut like you can on a Savage.
Mm-hmm.
So from what I read, they're good. I haven't tried that. I haven't gone down that path yet, but I would if I was going to build another Remington action, because I like to do all the head spacing, etc. myself. And after doing the chambering on that 1903 Springfield, I did, and that's when we had Chuck in the lathe and do all the work for timing the threads and all. That's a lot of work. So you do a Savage, I have go no goes, and I can just be careful, and I'm done in 30 minutes of changing the barrel out, and I'm slow. You know,
I did buy some Clymore 308 gauges though, go and no go through Brownells years ago when I had the Tika Tac.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, 308 24-inch barrel. That was my first precision rifle. I did
How'd you
buy
like that?
those.
I've not
It's good-
shot the Tika. How'd you like the action, the trigger, and all that?
I did a lot. I'm crazy for, I got rid of it like an idiot. And what was a bad story about that one is I bought the, oh God, I can't remember the name of it now. It was a stainless steel synthetic stock version, but like $1,000. And I hated that gun. I sent it to Beretta. They wanted to argue with me. They wouldn't make it right. And I sold it. And I called Beretta. I sent a note. And that was back when I had the 308 gauges and, headspace, and I knew what I could load in the Tika because I'd loaded for it. I could tell when the bolt would get stiff, like at a thou over, thou and a half. I could feel it. Well, anyway, I call him, and this guy tells me, he says, headspace measure different over in that country. So I come up and I says, sir, headspace is headspace no matter how you measure it. No matter what instrument you measure it with, headspace is headspace.
Yeah.
So sit there and tell me that I couldn't go by headspace here as a reloader. That I had no clue, really kind of insulted me. So I just told him that. I just flat out said, hey man, headspace is headspace. Don't even give me that. And he shut up. And anyway, to make a long story short, they sent it back claiming wasn't a thing wrong with it. Well, it was something wrong with it. And I'll never, ever buy Tika. I'll never buy Beretta again. And I'll say that live. Huh. And they just did me bad. I mean, they claim on the phone, they were going to shoot 20 rounds through. They're not going to do that. They didn't do that. They sent me a note. We test fired it, 20 rounds through. Nothing's wrong. What bugged me about it? You literally, I'll tell you what's wrong with it. You literally had to take the bolt, shove it really hard, slam it or hard with your palm to even lock it, close it. And it just was that way all the time. And I said, I'm not going to sit here and bruise my hand off with this crappy gun.
With your loads or factory ammo?
All of it.
Oh, yeah?
All of it. Yeah. And I said, enough's enough.
A tight chamber then more than.
Yeah. And I knew that. But they were too cheap to doggone give me another barrel. So I'll probably never get them as a sponsor one day, but.
Maybe not.
Yeah. But that's what they were. Now, if they want to step up their game, call me. Or you probably know who I'm talking about if they're watching.
Yeah.
You know who I am. But I didn't even tell them what channel I had back then.
Talking about doing the headspace, the thing I like now that I have two identical Savages, one in the AccuStock and one going to be in that Boyd's at one, I chambered it. I fitted the action in the barrel and did all that, and then headspaced them at the same time, one back to back, because you kind of get a feeling for how tight that nut should be when you tighten it down and how tight you want that bolt to be. Mm-hmm. So I did them exactly the same way, got the same feel, and they chamber the rounds perfectly to each other. And when you measure the case afterwards, they're dead on to each other. So I can load one round for both rifles and not worry about headspace issues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they make good guns. They definitely do. Tika, man, even I go to the gun guy I've been going to for decades. He mentioned one day in the store, I said something about Tika, positive. And he says, man, them things do shoot accurate. And I go, yeah, they do. When you get a good one, all it was a slip through quality control. This is what it really was. It's a good gun, though. Very highly accurate. 20-inch 20-inch barrel, stainless steel. It was a nice gun. I paid $1,000 for it. And I was going to buy a aluminum stock. I forget the name now. And I was going to put it in one. Well, after I ran into that issue, and then I got basically insulted over headspace, I said, geez, these guys. And then I actually still got the note somewhere where they said they tried it and everything was fine.
Well, I was talking about those Savages, but I tell you at the same time, there's one really annoying part of it. And people that don't rebarrel never know this, but is that 110 action. If you tighten those action screws and that thing is not perfectly bedded, you can actually put a slight torque in that action and the bolt gets so hard you can't close it. The action itself is flexing in the back. I've never seen that in Remingtons.
Wow.
Now, once it's there, it's good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Their Model 12, their single shot is so rigid, it'll never do that. But the 110 tactical action, I think it's all the same as far as that part of it. You can definitely put that action in a little bit of a bend and that bolt won't go forward, or it starts to get sticky and tight. I don't like that.
Yeah, it's just who I ran into at the factory. That's what happened with this Beretta, this deal. But it left a sour taste in my mouth, definitely. Because, I mean, how do you feel? You sink $1,000 in a gun and you can't, nobody will listen to you. I think he thought I was a FUD reloader or something. I mean, who knows what he thought, but he definitely acted like it at first, especially when he made that comment. I mean, it doesn't, like I said, headspace is headspace. And he should have known I was more aware of headspace because I was a reloader, but instead he used it against me, which is weird, to me when it happened back then. But hey, he may not even work there no more. Hopefully they fired him. I would have fired him if I'd been his manager.
Yeah.
Customers, the
gun community is one of the most loyal if you take care of them. And when you don't, it's kind of like when I first got into Grendel, I got a Faxon bolt carrier group from Primary Arms sent to me. And it wasn't staked. And they say right in their advertising it's supposed to be staked. So I sent it back to Primary Arms. Well, actually, I tried to contact Faxon, and they never even responded to me, their customer service. And I don't have a problem with Faxon, but that kind of annoyed me. So I sent it back to Primary Arms, and they sent me a fail 0 instead. And so that's what I've been using. But at the same time, I have Faxon barrels I wouldn't sell or trade, everybody may have a hiccup now and then,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've had good luck with Faxon. I actually sent a barrel back with Faxon. They returned it, no problem. Criterion, man, I called them like a year later, and they said, did you mount the barrel? I go, no, send it back. I still hadn't sent it back. Matter of fact, only reason I hadn't, there's no FedEx around here, and I don't feel like driving to Lawrenceville. I'm thinking I'm going to Lawrenceville on the 1st. I'm going to have a talk with my college professor. I'm going to tell him he does not help me at all with his adjustments. So I'm going to try to see another doctor in the office. I'm going to take that barrel and I'm going to actually send it back and get the government ultralight profile. Because, I paid $300 for it. I need to get that barrel back.
I put on that 1903. I've been very happy with it.
What'd you say now? Pardon?
I said Criterion. You mentioned that barrel. That's what I put on my 1903, my 1942 M1903 that I rebuilt. And it's been so far a really good barrel.
Yeah, Criterion's, like I said, this one here is hand lapped, chrome lined. You can tell it's hand lapped when you open it up. Well, you can see almost a discoloration where they hand lapped it, which most people don't. Go ahead.
When I finished that, I put up a video of me bore scoping that barrel, and you're right. Their hand lapping was amazing. It was beautiful inside that bore. I hated to shoot it. I did.
But I will get another one. Just got to exchange it. I still got the RM number on it. Return authorization on it. RMA number. Still here.
Yeah. Return authorization.
Yeah. She told me to call her and they'd give me whatever I wanted. I can go with a hybrid, which is cross between a heavy barrel and a light, heavier than this, or I can go with a ultralight, which they call the government profile, or I can keep this core. Do I think this core is good? You ain't kidding. This core, if you just want a gun for self-defense, there's nothing wrong with this barrel. It's fantastic. It's just a little thinner than I like. I'd prefer a little bit thicker down near the gas block area. The front of the barrel, one a little bit thicker. In fact, do over, I wouldn't have bought it because it's kind of like a niche barrel to me, even though it's designed to balance the weight. I don't.
You want it more, yeah. So you want it for balance, right?
I originally bought it for that. Yeah. Then I got thinking how thin the barrel was, and I said, I don't really want this. I ain't really worried about a balance because I mean, Daniel Defense, all BCM, their government profile, you don't have no balance problem particularly. You know, I mean, I got a AR back there. I don't have a balance problem with it. It's government profile, so I'm just gonna stick with that. And now I'm gonna do eventually maybe get a white oak armament barrel.
Yep.
Let's see, that's a good one for maybe range. If
I wish they made a Grendel barrel, and they refused to do the Grendel.
I read something about that.
My 223 Wild barrel and their SPR barrel. That's another one I never sell or trade. I'll wear it out before I do anything else with it. It is so accurate.
Who's that other manufacturer that makes stainless steel barrel? Otis, not Otis.
Otis Gunworks, yeah.
Odin Gunworks, yeah, they make good barrels
Odin.
too.
I said Otis. Odin, yeah.
Odin, yeah. Well, guys, we've been on here about an hour and a half. We're gonna wind this thing down, but we didn't cover anything heavy. We just kind of talked a little bit more about guns. I enjoyed that too. You can only, like, you know, reloading, you can only talk about it so much. I mean, when I think about it, you know, I mean, there's a lot of stuff to cover, but you know, you just kind of, after a while, you just want to talk about something a little bit different.
Well, if you reload it, you got to talk about the reason you're reloading it, right? Put it to use, put it to work.
So hopefully I'll get a good barrel back from, and I know I will, from Criterion. Then I got a Faxon barrel, which, where is my barrel? Here's my barrel, 16-inch. This barrel is a wild barrel, I think. Yeah, the Criterion.
That's what I prefer, is that chamber.
This is NATO, Faxon SOCOM, 16-inch, mid-length. I don't particularly care for carbine length gas. I like the mid-length, and I would try the intermittent, and I'm not that rifled. I really don't go for, but mid-length is a good combo I like. So I'm going to get a build or two here going, and we're going to be talking a lot more about even videos on my channel of builds without building and breaking YouTube rules. So I know Hasbro is into that, you know, Echo's into it. A lot of people do it. And Eagle Run 23, he sits there and does a lot of videos on his builds. If you're careful, apparently with a fine line, you do okay. Besides that, if they give me a strike, I'll know I can't go there. So I'll stop that part, you know. But I'm going to try to do some editing videos and put together a kind of tell you what I'm going to do on the gun, and then you'll see the gun in a video, and then you'll see the gun at the range, kind of like Hasbro does, same thing Hasbro does, and a lot of other guys do. I'll be doing that.
It's the same thing with the guns, pretty much as it is with ammo. So if you see, that's our dummy rounds we were talking about last week. So this has no powder, no primer, just a seated bullet and size case. But it's the same thing. If you show every step, you're going to get in trouble.
Night, Jamie.
And
Thank you for being here, man.
On the build, you can talk about every step, but you can't show it anymore.
Yeah.
But at least on the cartridges, you can show most of what you do. Anymore, I'll just show, hey, I throw some powder. Hey, I'm seating a bullet, and that's about it. And I hit the range.
Bob said AR's idea of shutting it. Bob knows I get to talking, I won't stop. That's what he knows. And sometimes I force myself. Warsaw Patriot jumped in there. And the more I get used to Hasbro, I'll get to him like I was Echo. Echo, I could just sit and talk. You know, we could probably do a 3-hour. I know I could do a 3-hour stream with Echo. We've done it near 3 hours. But anyway, good to see you, Warsaw Patriot. Brutal Bob, I'm going to go up and call you guys out. That way I don't forget someone tonight. I appreciate you helping, Hasbro. I'll try to give you the co-host thing here soon. I'm thinking any day Echo's going to call me and he's going to go live. He mentioned the cables the other day, guys. He says, give me about another couple hours. I'm going to get the cables together. And I thought, okay, nothing happened. So I suspect he will break loose here shortly or soon. And And of course,
I
Mac.
hope he does. I miss seeing him, miss talking to him. I chat him occasionally a little bit, stuff like that, but it's not the same.
Mm-hmm. We had Kingpin in here tonight. Colt 1927 Tactical FUD with us. JH586 was with Andy 79Z28. Says, hi, everyone. Bye, everyone. He goes to bed early. Viejo was with us. Barbie Barlow was with us. Tactical FUD. I called. JH586. Dale Pogue was with us. Good to see you guys. Hasbro here in the box. Appreciate you being here, Hasbro. GGW Outdoors. MSB 9021. He's a regular. Good to see you, man. Brutal Bob. Bob will be up probably most of the night. Let's see. GG, bro. Michael Dunn was with us. Viejo, Brutal Bob, I called. Mark Thomas. G23 was with us. Good to see you, G. Bubba Triclops Ballistics. I always want to say Triclops. I always mess that up. You know, they say Elvis Presley doggone stuttered. A lot of people don't know that. If you listen to him, you'll hear it occasionally when he's talking. I don't stutter. Another, who was it? Mel Tillis was a stutter. He could sing, but he couldn't stutter.
Except when he sings.
Mm-hmm.
I know some other people that way.
Mm-hmm. Rollis Carvelis was with us tonight. Who else? Let's see. Alaska One Andy was with us. Good to see you, Alaska One Andy. If you're still listening. Dale Pogue was with us. Bubba, of course, I called. Hasbro. Michael Hurtnick was with us tonight. Good to see you, Michael. GGW Outdoors with us. Coat 1927 was with us. Mark Thomas. Yankee Kyle was with us. Good to see you, Yankee Kyle, if you're still listening. Doing good, man. Hope you are, too. Of course, that was a long time ago. Raleigh, Dale Pogue, I've called. Let's see. Uncle John was with us. Uncle John used to be on in every stream. Of course, I kind of went missing myself, too. Who else here? JH586. Info Bros was with us tonight. Good to see you, Info Bros. Yankee Kyle, Michael Brutal Bob. I think I've almost got Christmas 740 joined us. New York Outcast jumped in there for a little bit. DJ Play Nice was with us. Appreciate each and every one of you guys being here tonight, man. It means a lot to us. Tactical FUD. Make sure I hadn't missed anybody. New York. Michael, Info, Colt, Christmas 740, Dale Pogue. I think Tim S. was with us. Good to see you, Tim. Christmas 740. Todd was with us. Appreciate you coming in, Todd, if you're still listening. Crazy Gearhead was with us tonight. Had some new faces here. At least Crazy Gearhead I've seen. I can't remember. I might have seen Todd before. I can't remember now. Brutal Bob was with us. James Pollard. Chad Kelly. Good to see you, Chad. MCK. He's with us. James Pollard was with us, of course, I said. Appreciate each and every one of you being with us tonight, guys. It means a lot to us. Let's see, who else? I think I about got it. It's funny, if I start from the lower and go up, I'm slower. If I start from the top, I'm faster. Ain't that odd how we are? Warsaw Patriot, Uncle John. 67 Rebel SST. Appreciate it, man. If you're still listening, appreciate you coming in here, Rebel. 67 Rebel SST AMC. My brother's, I owned a Gremlin once. My brother's owned, I forget what I actually referred him one time to a used car. And Uncle John, go ahead. I'll let you turn it over, Hasbro, and unplug and sign off.
Okay. Yeah, it's a good time for me. I got to get up early in the morning. So, like I say, for me, coming up, I'm going to try to get back on 6mm ARC and 6.5 Creedmoor in the next week or so, because then I'll be to where I won't be able to do a lot of range time for the next couple of weeks after that. So I may do some other videos and things. Got a lot of cool places to stop. I may stop in and do some videos on those areas related to reloading and gun stuff. But that's pretty much for it for me. I was very thankful for everybody that tuned in. 1,500 subscriber. Thank you, AR, for all your help on that. We got all those prizes out, and so now on to I'm going back to what I do. I just like to have fun on the channel, right? And so I do what I find fun, and hopefully other people do too.
Oh yeah, I've been watching more of your videos. I hadn't probably left as many comments, but I'll be on the big screen. I'll be going right through them there. Yeah, Uncle John, he's been with me a long time. Vanessa, Kitty, I didn't call her out. She was up there. Some of you go way back. Uncle John, Pollard, Warsaw, Bob, I've known for a little while now. Todd, see, Chad, I've met recently, I think, through Hillbilly. Check the streams out, guys. I'll run over them. Christmas 7:40, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Wednesday. MacMan, not this Monday, coming Monday. MacMan, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Usually runs a little over an hour. Check out JH586, Georgia Shooting Connection, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check out the crazy, I always want to say the crazy Scottish American now. What's his time? I can't never remember his time yet because I've been logging in late on his show.
It's, like 8 p.m. on Sunday night, isn't it?
Yeah, I was thinking 7 or 8. I couldn't remember. But he's on Sunday night. Check his show out, guys. He's got a good crowd. And who else if I'm leaving off? G does a 2A show, I think 6 on Saturday Chats, 2A show. And G Webbs, he does a show. Hillbilly, I called Hillbilly Up, didn't I? Yeah. Or did I? Hillbilly Up, Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Anyway, check those guys out. God bless. Appreciate you being on here, Hasbro. It means a lot to me, man. Hasbro.
Glad to
help me
help.
out, man. Thank you. Good night, all. God bless.
Night, all.